To apply these different steps for solving equations, we're going to be working through the steps that we had backwards. So you remember our seventh step was to check an answer by evaluation. So that's the first skill that we're going to cover today, is to look at how do you check an answer in an equation. So this is going to look very much like the what we did in evaluating expressions. We're going to take this equation, negative 5c equals 10, and we're going to put the 2 in place of the c so that we can determine whether or not c actually is the correct solution for this equation. So just like I did with evaluating expressions, I'm going to recopy the problem with my 2 in place of the c, and then I'm going to simplify the left side. I get a negative 10. I don't need to do any simplifying on the right side because it's already as simple as it gets. And I end up with negative 10 on the left and a positive 10 on the right. So that means that those two things are not the same. They're not equal. So is 2 a value? Is the value 2 a solution to this equation? No, it is not. Because when I put 2 into the equation and simplify the left and simplify the right, I don't get the same answer on both sides. I don't get equal answers. In this next problem, we're going to be checking to see if negative 2 is a value, a solution for this equation, if it works when we put negative 2 in for m. So I'm going to write 20 times a negative 2 plus 3. And I'm hoping that when I solve it, it's going to come out to be 16. So let's check. 20 times negative 2 gives me a negative 40. And when I add 3 to it, negative 40 plus 3 gives me a negative 37. And unfortunately, just like with our last example, negative 37 and a positive 16 are not the same thing. So my answer, once again, is no, that negative 2 is not a solution to this equation. We'll be checking all the other problems that we work in this section, so you will get to see some where the answer comes out to be yes. So I told you we were going to work through the steps backward. So let's look at what step 6 was. 6 said to ask yourself, is there anything that's being added or subtracted or multiplied or divided that you need to get rid of? So I guess I need to change that to a 5 because it looks like we're doing addition and subtraction first. So in this equation, on the left side I have the expression c minus 12, and on the right side I have the expression 7. So I ask myself, is there anything that's getting added or subtracted to my variable? And sure enough, there's a 12 that's getting subtracted from c. So if I add 12, because that's the inverse, the additive inverse of negative 12, that will make the 12s go away, and I will have isolated my variable. C will be alone on the left side of my equation. But if you remember back to the 2 rules that I said we're going to govern everything we do in this unit, my stacks are getting really messy. Our variable has been isolated, but we also need to do the same thing to the other side. So if I'm going to add 12 to the left side of my equation, I also need to add 12 to the right side of my equation. And 7 plus 12 equals 19. Okay? To check that problem, I'm going to put the value 19 in my equation in place of the letter c. So I'm going to put a 19 where the c was, subtract 12 equals 7, and then I'm going to check to see if that's true. Well, 19 minus 12 is 7, and 7 equals 7, so this problem does check. Now that might seem like a lot of work to go through. When looking at this, you could probably already guess that the answer was going to be 19, that 19 is the only number that you could take 12 away from and still have 7 left. But remember, our goal for this unit is to learn those very, very, very beginning steps of solving algebraic equations. We are doing only the absolute most basic and simple algebraic equations in the scope of this course. As you move forward through your future courses, the algebra is going to get much, much more difficult. So the better that you can be at doing this process, at isolating variables while keeping your equation in balance, doing something to one side, doing it to the other side, the better off you're going to be as we move through our course and your future courses. So one more problem on this page. In this question, we're asked that on the left side, we have the expression -8, and on the right side, the expression z plus 4. So I want to isolate my variable. I want to get z all by itself on the right side of my equation, but there's a plus 4 in the way. By subtracting 4, I can get those 4's to go away, but what I do to one side, I need to do to the other. So I'm also going to subtract 4 on this side. And a -8 minus 4 more gives me a -12. Boxes around your answer make them easier to find. Okay? So I'm going to then go and check this. -8 is equal to a -12 plus 4. Well, -8, I can't make any simpler, so the left side of my equation is already as simple as it gets. The expression on the right, though, -12 plus 4 is equal to -8. So yes, I have solved this equation correctly. That -12 is the number that when you add 4 to it leaves you with a -8.